This is the guide to increasing and decreasing the power on the Weihrauch HW100 pre-charged rifle. This particular rifle is a 2.2, however the means by which you do this is identical on the 177. The first thing you need to do is to remove the barrel. In order to remove the barrel, there is a grub screw at an angle situated right underneath, just where my friend is pointing there. The grub screw is in at an angle. You'll need to remove the grub screw, and then the barrel will, with a little bit of twisting, simply pull out. As you can see, that simply leaves the stock and the firing mechanism. If you turn the gun over, you will see just in front of the trigger is another screw hole. We've taken this one out already, but inside there is a hex bolt head screw. Simply remove that screw. The trigger mechanism will then simply lift out thus. You can now put the stock away as we've finished with the stock. Okay folks, this is the trigger mechanism removed from the firing mechanism removed from the gun. The first thing we need to do is to remove the trigger. And holding the trigger there are two screws. Those screws are situated there and there. Once again, the two Allen bolts. Simply remove those and the trigger will simply remove. As you can see, my friend's got one bolt out. Another bolt, and as you can see, can you just turn it towards Mike so we can so yeah, that's oh, does that one not remove? Right.
Well, you can leave it in because it stays in.
Okay, yep, so
once it's loose enough,
just loosen it off, and as you can see that the trigger simply detaches from the mechanism. You can now put the trigger to one side as we finish with it for a minute. And there we have the mechanism itself. The next part of this operation involves removing the end cap. On the end cap there are four small screws, or two, sorry, there are two. We simply remove those. And as you can see now, it's exposed the end of the gun. If you look at this end on, I'll just try and zoom in a little bit. The bottom hole, where my friend is just pointing the pencil, that is the grub screw that you will turn to increase and decrease the power of the gun. However, before you do that, there is a small locking grub screw which is well, it's inaccessible. It's situated just about there. Now, there's no way into it from there at all. What we have to do is firstly undo this little screw here, which will allow a small metal plate and the screw itself to detach from the gun. The long piece of metal there that my friend is showing you has a spring on it. Be very careful and make sure that this spring stays as it is.
Don't have to take this off. You can actually leave it on and spin it round if you've enough. Me with fat fingers.
And I just see that a little bit, mate. As you can see, yeah, as you can see, all Mike's done is just simply left the metal plate in place and just loosened the screw and rotated the plate. Now, if you cock the gun, you will see it move forward and
allowing that plate to travel
at the end of the gun.
It will. It's a pain in the arse, but it will. can take it off if you want.
There we go, and there's the end exposed. It's in there. I don't know whether you can see that because it's very small. There's a little hole in there. That's the locking, securing grub screw. In order for you to adjust the power at the end of that, could you just show me the end of it again, Mike, please? Thank you. In order to adjust the power of the gun by turning this large Allen key here, you need to remove that little tiny locking grub screw. You can leave that grub screw out and you can then adjust the power of your gun quite easily.
Like taking the back plate off.
Simply just by removing one screw and taking the plate off. Would you like to remove the grub screw, sir?
No, because the Allen key's not small enough.
I think I tried the really diddy one and it was okay. No, there were a really diddy one, man.
You'll see it.
No, diddier than that.
Ooh. Is that still recording?
It is. And as you can see, or probably can't, it's a very, very tiny little grub screw. There we go. Right, we shall be back in a second. Okay folks, we've removed the small grub screw and this is just a very quick reassembly guide. The first thing to do is just push the cocking arm back down. Now if it doesn't go, I don't know whether you can see this, there is a metal tube, a metal rod which has to fall into a hole at the back of the gun. There we go.
Once it's lined up,
it drops straight in. It puzzled us for a few minutes, that did. Pull the metal bar, the spring-loaded metal bar back and slide the small metal square block and screw back into place. Butterfingers. Can we just have a look at that when you've done it? Okay, as you can see, that's that part back together. And the gun's cocking freely. Reassembly of the trigger is the next step. Which fits on like that. Does it matter which position safety lever's in, Mac?
No.
Okay. And then as you can see, Mac's just reassembling and tightening the two screws that we took out previously. And now if we just simply cock the gun and depress the trigger. Could you do that again, please, Mac? As you can see, it cocks. Trigger works. Could you test the safety for us, Mike, please? As you can see, the safety catch still works perfectly well. So that's the unit reassembled, ready to go back into the gun. Don't forget to put the back plate back on with the two screws, and then the gun can be put back into your stock, as we will do very shortly. Okay, there you see, that's the mechanism back into the gun, and as you can see, as Mike's demonstrating, it works beautifully.